YouTube, what's going on? My name is Argon. Welcome back to some Fortnite updates. Today we're going to give you some information about the new update that's coming out with the building improvements. So they just released a blog post giving a little sneak peek of what's coming out in the new patch of 3.0 of Fortnite Battle Royale. I want to go into some details on it because it was a little bit confusing, but here's the basics of it, guys. So they're adding 3 new features to the game when it comes to building. 2 are really a feature and 1's a tweak. So the first one is called Turbo Building. So Turbo Building allows you to hold down primary fire and continuously place a selected building piece, and you could toggle this in your game options. Now you can paint building pieces into the world quickly. This will be very useful for defensively building walls around you and sprinting up ramps while building them simultaneously. Basically, guys, and to make it kind of really easy for you, this takes it from being like a semi-automatic weapon to a fully automatic weapon. So before, when you wanted to place buildings or structures, you'd have to keep tapping your trigger. Now just hold it down and you can just keep doing it. This will actually be really useful if you guys really run a high sensitivity. A lot of times if you run a high sense, you spin around to try and put walls around you, you might miss a spot. Now just hold the trigger, spin around, you'll place them no problem. If you're running up a ramp, now you don't have to worry about missing one. Just keep holding your finger down, it'll just literally put them right in front of you. You don't even have to worry about it. The next thing that they added was a thing called automatic material swapping. Now this is definitely something that's gotten me before, but this basically is an auto change for your material. It'll switch to another material when your current supply runs out. In addition to the turbo building, this makes the building process fast and simple. It also allows for quick defensive structures from flanking with less input and worry about running out of a particular material. I always have this problem when I'm ramping up. I end up forgetting to keep an eye on how much material I have. I miss one and I end up falling, have to go back up again. I can't even tell you how many times it's happened. So I'm kind of glad this is coming out. A lot of people think this is something to reduce the skill gap. I don't really think so. Yeah, okay, you should be able to track your materials, but it's kind of a convenience thing. So I'm glad they're adding it. With this and with turbo building, you can toggle these off in the menu if you choose not to use them, which is really good that they put this in right away. I know with the auto run feature, that pwned me hard plenty of times. So when they added the toggle, I was really appreciative of that. It's really nice that they're going to go ahead and put in the toggle right off rip. That actually makes things way nicer. So if you don't like it for whatever reason, doesn't fit your playstyle, you can go into the menus and toggle them off. The last thing they're adding, now this is a tweak to the building mechanics. This is the ability to build through stuff. Now previously you used to be able to build through like bushes, small cardboard boxes, stuff like that. They would just explode and you could just build on it. But if you were trying to place a building on like a big sign or a car or a big tree or a rock, it wouldn't let you do it. The structure would appear red and it would not actually be able to build. They've gone ahead and replaced that. So what they're saying is sometimes it's frustrating when your placement is blocked unexpectedly and you aren't sure why. Currently, smaller objects like furniture and shrubs are destroyed when you build over them, but trees, rocks, and vehicles can still get in the way. We've changed the building system to allow you to place structures right through large objects, meaning you can now build pretty much anywhere, anytime. Note, player structures must still be supported by the terrain and other buildings. For example, a sky ramp that passes through a tree will still fall if the connection to the terrain or floor is destroyed. Now what that means, guys, is same rules apply for locking down your structures. Just because you're hooked up to a rock somewhere doesn't mean you're gonna actually stay connected. So you still got to make sure that a part of your building is hooked up to a floor or a mountain or a house or some type of other existing structure that either can be destroyed or is already there and not going anywhere. So keep that in mind, guys. It shouldn't be a big deal because all these things that they're allowing you to build through are basically attached to the ground anyway. So I don't even know why this would even be a thing, but they're throwing it in there as a note. So make sure you keep that in mind. The last thing that they're adding here, this is optimization. This is called switching building pieces. So basically what they're saying is there's the toggle lag. Sometimes switching between building pieces can sometimes feel laggy or unpredictable, especially on controllers. To improve this, we've changed the network code so cycling through the building pieces no longer requires a round trip to Epic servers. Initially, this improvement will be Battle Royale only, but we're working to bring it to save the world. So you guys are probably all BR players, so you're not that concerned. This actually will affect you. Basically, they've fixed the code. I'm not sure exactly the technical details. They don't go into it here, but essentially they've optimized the building process, not the building process, but the pieces process. So when you go and you've had this toggle lag before, and also there was a big time lag that they had to fix. When they went to version 2.4, I think they switched it up, the mechanics of how you switch between structures. That screwed everybody up. You'd be pulling out stairs and you're building walls, your thing would show walls and you're building ramps. It just was a mess. So now they went back to the version from 2.3 and it was still laggy, but it wasn't obviously nearly as bad as it was in 2.4. So now for 3.0, apparently they fixed the netcode, so they've solved the problem. We'll see how that comes into play with these new mechanics that they're throwing in. I'm not sure. Hopefully it's all a smoother process, because definitely building the most important thing in this game, having it run smoothly and perfectly, is important at all times. So hopefully that fixes it, guys. Again, no technical details as to what exactly they did, other than they're saying that they don't have to ping the Epic servers in order to make a change. So I'm assuming that cuts the input time in half, basically. I don't know how they do it, whatever. So hopefully now when you tap your trigger or button that you use to swap it into a different structure, it actually reacts the way you want it to, and there's no lag, and then you don't have any over toggles or under toggles. So that's all good news, guys. Again, hopefully you found this interesting. Hopefully you found it useful. If you're not the kind of person that can read something and you need it kind of explained to you or showed to you, hopefully this helped. If you did, make sure you smack that like button, guys. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter so you can stay up to date with all the latest information on the channel. Until then, guys, may you never die by a bush. Peace.